Now I wanted to start this spotlight video off a bit different. I wanted to compare the same ship, that's a Hammerhead Corvette from both Starship Evo and Space Engineers. Now this is a beautiful ship inspired by a ship from Star Citizen, and we all know Star Citizen loves to really detail their ships. So both Space Engineers and Starship Evo kind of have the same goal in terms of wanting or allowing players to build highly detailed ships. The only difference between them though is Starship Evo has more sizes and scales of blocks than Space Engineers, and the other thing is Space Engineers only allows you to really build in one scale. So we've got our large and small scale blocks in Space Engineers, and they don't really like to work together. Yes, you can force them, like the ship on the right here with the hinges and rotors to create the angles that you want to, but it's just not capable in a survival setting. Where on the other hand in Starship Evo you can, I believe, up to 12 sizes of different blocks, and because of that you can build quite fine details and really refine design areas. That's really quite cool. So soon we're going to take a look around this Starship Evo ship on the left, and we're going to do a full spotlighted tour. But I want to show you a few more detailed comparisons. Such here we've got the engine bay. You can see them fine detailed blocks really shrinking the scale of what blocks you have to hand to create the detailing, and on the right you've got Space Engineers that has a much sharper look to the block. I think it really depends on which sort of art style you like here as well, where Starship Evo has a softer tone to the blocks and panels, and the blocks and panels seem to merge together a little bit more seamlessly, where the Space Engineers blocks seem to have more ridges and edges to them. Of course that can be solved with mods and other things, but there you go. So moving into the ship here, this is the entranceway of the Starship Evo ship. We've got this large hangar bay, and this is the entranceway to the Space Engineers ship. So the Space Engineers ship, obviously to have the same sort of size and entranceway, you have to really compact down what blocks you use. And since we've only got one scale in Space Engineers, it means that these corridors have to make use of plenty of decorative blocks, and you're really fighting to put detailing into a smaller area. Where on the other hand, Starship Evo has a lot more, well, scales of blocks, so you can put more detail in a finer space. But both games are doing it pretty well, and they really do look nice, both of them. Space Engineers is really just accounting for that problem with the decorative pack that I don't think is a bad idea, because it allows you to simply place everything in one scale. As we turn through the passageways of both of these ships and we speed along, you can see that the lighting as well is a little bit softer within Starship Evo, and there's a heavy use on escalators and access ways in Starship Evo, because it seems to be easier to put a piston or a rail system within the Starship Evo universe. So as we enter into the bridge, we've got the final detail I want to compare, and that's just the seating area. So very, very cool, but let's get onto the tour. Now with that quick comparison out of the way, we're going to be taking a look at the Starship Evo ship. Now both of these ships can be found in the links in the description of this video, but let's check out the exterior and then have a look in the vast interior. So starting towards the front of the ship, what I really like about this one is this cool hangar bay. Well, it's not hangar bay, it's more of a personal entrance bay that the player can access. They can hit this button up here. It opens up, well, it actually imports in and then opens up and opens the inner airlock. Just below this inner airlock is of course the bridge that's tucked in down here, and you can see the detailing that's on them chairs that we'll explore when we go on inside. So coming around the side, it works our way to these really cool turret pods. So we've got two of these on either side, and we've obviously got this like tank-like turret on the top. And just look at the detailing that can go into these little gimbal mounts with them flexible hoses there as well. Really cool indeed. Working around the side here, you'll notice that there is a connection port, and we've obviously got a landing gear here that is currently folded up. I'll show you that in a bit more detail as we go around the ship and get in the controls. Working our way back, we've got some nice piping and details, and then this wingtip folds right into another one of the weapons. Working our way up the deck, you've got this main cannon on this deck. This looks like a really powerful railgun of some kind. We're complete with some sort of searchlight on the top deck there. Coming to the side, we have got the name of the team that developed this particular ship, and we obviously have ourselves our engine bays towards the rear. So this is like a double stacked engine bay, but look at the detailing on some of these panels of these individual engine bay components. It's just really fantastic. It's got like venting and ribbing and pipes that are connecting and interconnecting between the areas. And as we come around the back, we have got a rear facing turret to keep anyone off your tail. It's got a really nice sleek sort of back section of this ship that kind of folds itself into these upper sections as well. Really nice to see. As we come along the upper back deck here, you can see the detailing with the pipes and some of these inset and offset areas as well. So let's move over and get inside this thing. Now there's a few ways of getting inside. We can of course enter through the little lift that accesses the side of the ship down there, and there's also a cargo bay towards the back, but I'll show you that when we get over there. But for the moment we're going to go through the main frontal airlock. So we opened up the doors to this before, and as we come on inside here we can seal all this up behind us. So we'll pop that, close up the airlock, and then we'll enter into this area. Now this area has these cool little medbay sort of teleporter pods in. And as we open up the second door, we are greeted with this vast interior. I'll turn the light off so you can get a bit of a view for it. Pop my hood on and get no clip off. Access my legs, so I should be able to walk around the ship. Just look at the detailing that's going on in these segments between the catwalks and the rest of the ship as it curves around. We could be completely lost in here. Now coming to the side, we actually have access bays to the turret controls, so we can control the turrets. Let's continue walking our way around. Just look at the folding and how these corridors curve into each other. Isn't that beautiful? Coming back to the main area, we have access down this whole of the ship on that side, and we've got access down the whole of the ship this way. So we'll follow this corridor for the moment. Look at these individual details on each of these. You can see the various different points as we move through the scales. Let's continue on. This is access to the little lowering area here. So this is the lift that comes up and down the side. I've actually ended up on top of the lift here, so we'll have to be careful. But you can see you can access the ship, get in and out from that little access lift, and it's got this cool blast door to cover it off when not in use. There's obviously blast doors throughout the ship as well that I've left open just for the ability to move through this tour. And you notice that there's this little air vent that's been designed that follows the corridor along, as well as hosting these labelled signs. So we've got the engine room this way and we've got the bridge this way. Now this is access to the rear turrets, so the turrets that are out on the further wing tips. And these, I'm not too sure what these are. We've got the turret that's going on there. I thought this was going to be like ammunition storage or something for the main weapon. Some sort of detailed panel in there. Oh, so that's a container, perhaps for storage for more ammunition. What's that? Escape pods. Oh, so these are escape pods, are they? Oh, interesting. So these little escape pods drop out the bottom. That's what they are. That's really cool. So we can access and deactivate the escape pods. Yeah, so there's escape pod deactivated. Very cool. So that's like a little cutaway section, and this allows us to get up onto the upper deck if we wanted to. So we can access these little lifts in case we're lazy and we don't fancy walking. Access that handle, and then we're on the upper deck here. Now the upper deck has some cool rooms, such as a medical room like this, complete with the medical items on the shelf. Very detailed. There's been this little detailed, is it not stethoscope? What's it called? Oh, microscope. That's the word I'm looking for. And as we come into this next room, we've got ourselves this little locker area. Let's switch a few of these, see if they do anything in particular. No, so we've just got little lockers detailing little areas in there. Let's continue around this upper deck and see what else we can find up here. What's in this area? So this is a full living area and lounge, complete with what I'm guessing is going to be a bathroom or a toilet of some kind. Maybe like a store for the kitchen, perhaps. We've got televisions up there. We've got a lovely seating area. Can we access these seats? Yeah, we can. More monitors over on this side that we could have various different things, and a full laid out kitchen complete with a modelled cheeseburger. You can see with these scales of blocks though just how detailed you can get with your interiors, and it means you can have a much larger scale interior in a smaller ship. So coming around here, we actually have our access bay over the hangar bay that we'll have a look at in a moment's time. So we can access various different panels, and we actually have a lift here, if I'm correct. So there we go. So there's multiple lifts going on inside the ship. Let's lower ourselves down, and we are back on the lower deck. We've got like a server or some sort of access room here with various ship systems on these fold out panels. Very fun. And let's access this door and go into the hangar bay. So the hangar bay is quite a detailed room. You've got these engine like components on the side with various different control panels and monitors. What these switches do. I love switching switches and just worrying about what things are going to happen. There was that little control room we were at before. We've got access back up to there. We've got the lift. Let's try and lower this whole platform down. So if you had a ship or some sort of smaller rover, you could lower it down. You could lock it with this central locking link, like so. Let's bring ourselves back up as well, out to the rear. It's very dark space at the moment. Funny thing to say. And we've got like a crane here as well on this lifting platform. So this gantry crane, oh, a little bit of a jump there. So this gantry crane could actually lift and move things across the hangar bay, I'm guessing. Very detailed feature. Let's come up into here. So this will wrap back around to the rear turret. So that's the rear turret access there at the back. So continuing through our corridor, we're actually going to head to the bridge. We're moving down the opposite corridor on the other side. We'll turn our light off to get back into the ambience of the place. Let's open that blast door up. Central bunk room in this area. So we've got bunks either side. Storage room there. I love these like little detailed parts to the wall. It's like a cutaway wall and then cutaway ceiling areas with vents and more detailing that can be put into the design. Some more cargo access there, and I believe that is access to the turret on the other side and the escape pods. Very nice indeed. And as we continue working our way through the ship, we've got another little lift over there, and then we're back at the entrance bay. Now if we enter into this bridge area, we've actually already ticked some of the boxes. We can activate the piston, bring the elevator up to our level, bring the elevator back down, and we are now in the bridge area. So that's, which is the right button? Nope, not that button, it's this one. So now that we're in the bridge, we're going to take this for a little bit of a flight. You can see that the pilot seat and the co-pilot seat are labelled. There's loads of lovely miniature details going on the side with hoses, wires and pipes. And these miniature details really only quite capable within Starship Evo. But let's jump in one of these seats. So as we bring our hood up and we aim at one of these seats here, you'll notice the seat actually rotates around, just like in Star Citizen, and then we can grab control of the ship like so, and we now have control of the vessel. Hitting F4, you can see we've got access to the ship. We've got access obviously to all its features, including its lovely landing gears that retract down like that. So these landing gears retract down and fold up. Very, very cool indeed. So to make things interesting, I've spawned in 10 little ships around us. Now these little ships are quite deadly, but we do have some serious firepower. So they might attempt to laser us back down, but we're going to shoot straight back at them. Look at all that laser fire. Our shields are holding for the moment, but there is going to be too many of them. Let's see if we can lock onto some of these other ones. Maybe we need to get a little bit of distance between us and them. Leave them in the dust. We activate our jump drive and get away. There we go. It's still charging. We're still under heavy fire from all the ships around us. Come on, return some fire. Try and lock in onto one of these other ones. The shield's coming down, but they are getting closer and closer. Let's try outrunning them. Let's activate our light cruise. Yeah, there we go. We're out of there. Let's bring it back around to them now. We're at a safe distance. So bring it back around. We'll try and lock a new target. I think we've left them in the dust. Oh no, there they are. Oh, straight to the side of us. Oh, that one's rammed right into us. It's got itself stuck. But as you can see, there's still some areas that need to be worked on in terms of combat here, especially with this little test combat mode. But still a really beautiful ship. Something really nice to have a look at. If you want to check this out, it'll be in the link in the description below.